Hi everybody, Jill the Chatty Cruiser back here. I have recently gotten off of a cruise on Royal Caribbean's Navigator of the Seas, and I have some video content that is coming your way. So in addition to my ship tour and my cabin tour and some of the other videos I have in the works, the first video I was going to post is what I am calling the rundown. So as I'm on the ship, I've got things going through my head that was like, oh, I didn't expect that, or this would be really great because I bet other people don't know this, especially if they have not been on Royal Caribbean before. So that's the content you're about to see, so stick around. Hello, so I decided to make a video while I'm here on the Navigator of the Seas for Royal Caribbean before I get home and forget all of these things, because when you get on one of these ships, you start to notice little things you like, things maybe you didn't know in advance, or things you think people would want to know. So I decided to make a little list here and go through just kind of the good, bad, and ugly of the things that really stand out to me that are a little different than I expected, or that maybe you don't know about and you would want to know before you go on Navigator of the Seas. Okay, so first off, the good, the great, whatever you want to call it. I love the promenade here. It is the coolest. It almost feels like you're in Las Vegas, in one of those resorts that is made to feel like you're in New York City or in Paris. It's very similar to that. It's got shops on the sides. It's got different food places. It's got a Playmaker sports bar. It's got an Irish pub or English pub. It's got shopping. And it's a good place. I like to go there in the morning when it's quiet, and then as people start to wake up, it gets a little more lively. We played cards down there, and there's always people to talk to. And since I'll be traveling solo on my next cruise, I'm looking for something like that where I can just go sit and watch people. So promenade here is awesome. I've been spending every morning there. So that was excellent. I'm super impressed with that on this ship. A couple of things to know that maybe are less impressive, or they didn't jive with me very well, is the timings of everything that's scheduled, including my time dining, which sounds to be very flexible. So here's the thing. You can reserve standard traditional dining. That means you come in at the same time every day, you sit at the same table with the same people. And those times are 5:30 is the early seating, 8 o'clock is the late seating. When I booked this, I said, well, we're in Cabo till 8. I don't want to have to be locked into a time. So what I did is I did my time dining. And with my time dining, you can still go on the app or the website, but you pick a reservation for every day and you can change it around. You won't necessarily be at the same table. You might not be with the same people, but at least you have that flexibility. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So that's what I did. And as you get here, there were no activities posted on the app until like the day before we arrived, or even the day of. So I had no idea what time activities would be. So the my time dining, the earliest you can go in and it starts is 6:45 at night. And I find that extremely late to start a seating for dinner because of the times they pick their shows to be at. So there's 2 shows per night in the big theater. You've got your 8 o'clock and your 10:15. So if you're going into dinner at 6:45, you're likely not going to make the 8 o'clock show unless you rush, but I don't like to rush food. You know me. I'm the foodie kind that just wants to sit and enjoy. So we miss the 8 o'clock show every night. But then 10:15 is really late for me as a teacher and an education professional. I'm up at the crack of dawn. 10:15 is late for me to be going in and starting to watch a show. So we haven't caught all the shows for that reason. So at the timings of the shows, I kind of expected 10:15 is really late. I think everything could be pushed up an hour. The my time dining starting at 6:45. We have a ship here. It's Thanksgiving week. It is full of children, and I'm looking at kids, and they're tired. They're kind of starting to get that fussy little eyes and whiny. And I love kids, but they are tired. They should have been fed earlier, or had some other option other than the buffet. But anyway, that's just neither here nor there. I just find the timings here are a little off from what I'd prefer. The other thing is that the flow rider, not the rapper, but the thing, it's a surfing simulation pool type thing that's up on the Lido deck. The flow rider times, first off, you have to know what time it's available. It's not open all the time to everybody, so you actually have to look it up and see what time it's open. But on top of that, you have to go through levels and gain wristbands. So you can't just show up and say, I'm going to try to stand on a surfboard on that thing. They make you come during a certain time that's boogie board time, and you have to be able to boogie board and learn that first, and then they upgrade your wristband to another color, and then you can go to where it's a self-assisted learning how to stand up session, and that's only offered at a certain time. And then if you do well with that, you can then advance and come back at some other time that you have to look up, where they're letting people do the surfing without or not without a wristband, but without without help. So that's kind of frustrating to always be looking at a time that you can just go do a really quick activity. There's a line for it anyway, but either way, it's just we kind of figured that it would be open. You go in and you do it. I get why they want to train you first, but I feel like they could do a better, like, whoever shows up, if they want to be trained, let them on and train them, and keep it flowing that way. So anyway, that was a little odd too. That's something you might want to be aware of if you want to do the flow rider. A couple other things, just little tips and things that I wanted to throw in here. I would suggest getting the paper compass. They don't give this to you automatically. You need to ask your room steward for it, but it's your activity page. The website and the app are okay for this, but I like to be able to look at it all at once and kind of see what they have going on. So it's got all your information, but I would just suggest you request these from your cabin steward. The other thing that I put on the list was the coffee card. So I will tell you this, if we're going to do the good, the bad, the ugly. The ugly is their drink packages here are ungodly expensive. I'm on a 7-day. They wanted $748 was the cheapest offer that I got for this. I like a good drink, but I'm not going to drink that much, so I decided to forgo that. But they do offer this coffee card. I believe it was $39, $31 gets you 15 coffees. And if you can tell, I'm only halfway through, and we only have 2 mornings left of the cruise. But you can go get these coffees any time of day. The reason this is good, and the reason you should think about this, is because there's a Starbucks on board that you have to pay money to get Starbucks, but right below it on the promenade level, there's a cafe promenade that has coffee, and they're brewing Starbucks coffee and making cappuccinos, lattes, all of those things, and you don't have to pay out of pocket for them. So $31 for 15 coffees is a really good value. The guys that are working there know us by name when we walk up in the morning. They're wonderful. So this was actually a really good value, and I need to start drinking a lot of coffee over the next 2 days to actually use up what I bought. And the last thing that really saved me money, going back to the drink packages being super expensive, is I brought wine on board with me. Royal Caribbean used to let you bring 2 per stateroom. I'm in my own stateroom. So I wish I could have brought 2, but they have taken it down to 1 per person most recently. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, you might want to go check just to make sure this is still valid, but they do 1 per person. I am here in a group of 4 people, and 2 are non-drinkers, and the other one is not really a drinker. So I went and bought 4 bottles of wine, and we stuck it into everybody's carry-on luggage. If you put it in the checked luggage, you can still bring it on board, but they're going to actually hold your luggage, and you're not going to see your luggage unless you go get it from security. If you put it on your person as you come on, you can keep it with you. So we carried them on. We brought a little extra suitcase to ditch them into, so we didn't have to carry them around all day. And so I ended up with 4 bottles of wine that we brought on, plus there were 2 in my stateroom here waiting for me when I came in. That was just gifted. I don't even know why, but Royal Caribbean gifted me 2 bottles of wine. So basically I've had 6 bottles of wine to last me for 7 days, which is more than enough. Really, I'm going to probably have extra. I've bought a few drinks, a few cocktails I wanted to try, but it's saved me hundreds of dollars to be able to bring on my own wine. So anyway, that is the beginning of the thought process here of things that I wanted to share that maybe people wouldn't know that would come in handy. So anyway, Navigator of the Seas, Royal Caribbean, there are some tips, tricks, and the good, bad, and the ugly of what I have so far. So stay tuned. There will be more videos coming very soon. All right, we'll see you next time.